Hello, everybody. This is National Chapter Development Director Neil Fitzgerald. Apologies that we're rather late. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I'm having one of those days as a leader when things don't go the way that you planned. I'm sure that we've all had them. So I managed to get us locked out of the webinar program software. So I've had to get a different password, etc., etc. Anyway, we are here this evening to talk about partnerships, advocacy, and building bridges. This is somewhat a presentation which I gave in Myrtle Beach at convention that went down really, really well. What we're going to talk about this evening is how to build really effective bridges in your community. So we're going to talk about how to build connections with politicians, how to build connections with your local media, how to build connections with the Chamber of Commerce and YP groups, and also how to build connections with non-profits. Increasingly, what JCI USA can offer versus other youth organisations out there, such as the local young professionals group, is that we are great at partnerships. We have fantastic partnerships with the United Nations for UNICEF and with Nothing But Nets. We have a great partnership with Hobie, and we have lots of partnerships all over the USA where local chapters or states are coming together. We're going to talk about some of those examples this evening and give you some tools so that you can really build the bridges. So we're going to talk through the programs that JCI USA offers. We're going to talk about how to work with non-profits, how to work with a chamber, politicians, working with the media, and a case study. Okay, so as a refresher for you all, what is JCI's goal? So JCI's international goal is to unite all sectors of society. So the biggest recommendation I have for you today is plan your partnerships. Increasingly, we need to make sure that we're listening to our members. So one of the things that I would like you all to do is to ask your current members what partners that they know. Also look to hold a planning meeting. Plan out who you want to talk to, when and why. And again, think about the partners that you want to work with and the why. So first of all, let's talk about the national programs and partnerships that we have that can help empower you to build partnerships locally. So we've got Pieces Possible. So some of you may have seen on social media this week that the Hawaii JCs are celebrating their 75th birthday and they're doing an international peace convention. This year, we actually have a program manager, Ashley, in charge of Pieces Possible, and we are doing a Peace Cup at the moment, which is going to be great. If you want more information on Pieces Possible, email her. Her email address is on there. Pieces Possible is an international program run by JCI and JCI USA, and it's all about building bridges in society to help commit to a more peaceful future. The great thing with this program is there is a full media and event pack available. So rather than you having to brainstorm and put together a PMG/CPG for your own projects, you can use all of the resources that we've got already. We also have what's known as World Cleanup Day, but some JCs call it Let's Do It as well. We have contact for that too. World Cleanup Day this year is on 15th of September 2018. Then we've got Hobie. Some of you have probably heard of Hobie before, the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership. So this is a great program, again, run by JCI and JCI USA. What Hobie is great at is looking to build bridges with other young leaders. And where the JCs can plug in is to offer mentoring to those young leaders. So Hobie's more of a youth service organisation than we are. So what we can do is to really help those high school students. So Hobie has leadership seminars, and we can go to those seminars as well, and we can look at mentoring high school sophomores. And mentoring other people is a great leadership skill. A lot within the JCs, we're all about leadership development and creating those opportunities for young professionals. So having that opportunity to mentor a high school sophomore is great because employers want to know that you're able to listen to other people effectively and that you can help coach and mentor them. We've got a fantastic program manager, Dr. Ryan Anderson, and he's available at the email there as well. Don't worry about writing all of the emails down. At the end of this webinar, you'll be able to view it again, and I will also email it out to everybody too. Okay, we've also got UNICEF. So again, international program, familiar theme here. We have a program manager, Gina, and UNICEF at the moment, our partnership focuses on human trafficking awareness and support programs. For example, at the National Convention in Myrtle Beach earlier this year, we did care packages for rescued children of human trafficking. There's a huge amount of resources available via UNICEF that can help you. And then, of course, the one that we're probably most famous for at the moment is Nothing But Nets. So again, it's an international program. This is focusing on beating malaria, and it's also for advocacy as well. We are a non-political organisation, and something like malaria is very apolitical. So Nothing But Nets gives us the chance to fundraise. So you give a net to save a life. So the nets are $10, but it also gives you an opportunity to meet politicians, because politicians are inundated by special interest groups, particularly in an election year as well. Well, but malaria is very, it's apolitical. It doesn't cause any controversy. So you'll find that most politicians or their staff will be willing to meet you because they've heard of Nothing But Nets and the malaria campaign. It also gives you the opportunity to visit the United Nations as well. Again, we've got a great program manager, Joyce, and she's available on the email below. So that's our national programs. One of the things that I recommend that chapters do to really bed into their community is to work with non-profits. Now, why? Non-profits help validate you as a community organisation. When you're going out there to recruit new members, you need to make sure that looks like we've got some audio challenges right there. Okay, we're back now. Fantastic. So I was saying that non-profits help validate you as a community organisation. They need young professionals on their board or committees, so you can offer development pathways, and doing joint events can mean joint fundraising. It's easier for a 501c3 to get sponsorship monies than it is for an organisation like ours, where we're a 501c4. So this is a great way of getting some extra fundraising for your chapters. And the local media attention helps get your brand name out there. So you think about the initial community engagement that you'd want to do. So meet with other non-profits. And the way to do this is to go to them and go, hey, we're a group of young leaders. How can we help? Now, it's really important that you don't overcommit. The other thing is as well is that we don't pay to volunteer, right? We're here to develop people properly. So if we do end up volunteering at another non-profit, you need to make sure that we're always recognised, whether it's the programme, whether it's the local media afterwards, the social media, you need to make sure that we're being recognised. And what you should do as a thank you is to do a social hour for your members after the event. Look to bring in a certificate program as well, so that your members get more points. So the more that they engage with a non-profit, the more that they get points. Now, like I say, watch the programming though, because we're here to build new skills. So what you want your members to do when they're working with a new non-profit is to gain new skills themselves, whether that's gaining social media skills, whether that's gaining skills on how to write a press release properly, project management, financial management as well, because at the end of the day, we don't ask our members to give us money just to volunteer. You should as well send press releases to the media that your JC chapter helped at this event and raised X amount of money. And don't forget to post on social media too, as it shows your chapter creating some energy. Okay, let's talk about empowerment. So once you get your feet wet, sorting the efforts of fellow non-profits, that will help your members empower themselves to create your own projects so that you can really create the sustainable change that we believe in. So here's some examples for you to start off with. Staff a wine table, a fundraiser, care packages and letters for the troops, Nothing But Nets fundraiser, an advocacy day, a toiletries and clothing drive for the homeless, a food bank drive. And again, always make sure that you're utilising both the regular media and social media as well. Your long-term goal when you're working with non-profits is to have a JCI member on that non-profit board. Many chapters have had the confidence to start their own 501c3s off of the back of the involvement in the non-profit. Also, you should look to offer to train new non-profit leaders because this validates us as a leadership organisation. So when a non-profit starts up, or when it finds that its board members want to retire, you should engage with them and go, hey, we will help train your new board members up and we will help them help you. And what you should do in exchange is go, would you help cover their membership fee for the year? And you can also look at running a non-profit board member academy. And you get all those attendees who want to get involved in a particular non-profit trained up and get them to become members. Okay, Chamber of Commerce's and business groups. So we are the junior chamber, but we don't have a formal link with the US Chamber of Commerce. We do have a lot of chapters and some states who have those firm links. Now, a lot of the time, people say, well, how do I do it? How do I really build that connection? How do I go ahead and do it? And also, why? Why should I, as a chapter, work with the Chamber of Commerce? Well, again, the Chamber will help validate you as a community organisation. Chambers as well are struggling with board development. So again, if you work with a chamber, you can provide that pipeline for the development of their board. JCs can serve on the committees. You're offering your members development opportunities. Again, chambers are great at going to get fundraising, so that helps get you some money as well, and again for local media. So your initial engagement with the Chamber of Commerce is to go up and meet them. Some chapters have got great relationships with Chambers of Commerce's. Some chapters have got historical challenges where maybe the Chamber and the JCs didn't always agree with each other. So what you need to do is go out there and show how great our organisation is. And really, that means talking to them. So turn up at Chamber Mixers, take your business cards and introduce yourself. Follow up within a week asking for a formal meeting. A lot of organisations, if you just email them and go, hey, can we have a meeting? They're very busy and they might not engage with you. And they don't know whether you are valuable and whether you are authentic. But if you go to their mixers and talk to them face to face, you will get a better connection rather than just sending an email. And then you can then have that engagement with them of saying, hey, it was great meeting you last night. I'd love to connect with you further to talk about how our JC chapter can work with the Chamber on improving our local community. Now, if you are new to the JCs or a new president, or you feel like you need additional support, invite one of your state team members to go along with you, because they can talk about the JCs in broader terms, about what's going on at a state level and also a national level as well. Make sure that you ask your chamber what they need. Try and keep it in broad terms about the community and the challenges that they're facing. And what you should do to show that you really want to build that relationship with them is invite them to your general membership meeting or a membership night or a mixer and say, hey, would you like to come and meet our members and talk about the chamber? Because what you want to do at the start is to show that you're really willing to work with them. Don't start off talking about a formal partnership, because again, if you don't have a relationship with the Chamber of Commerce right now, they need to be able to see that you are an authentic voice of young people in your community. So you need to draw them in slowly. Working with a chamber is a bit like working with a new member. When you do hear that somebody wants to be a member of the organisation, you invite them along to events, you follow up with them, and then you then get that ask and say, hey, will you commit? Will you become a member? You don't ask them to become a member immediately. So it's the same with a Chamber of Commerce. Work with them over time, show them the value of our organisation, and they are far more likely to want to engage. And the other key point as well is whenever you meet a chamber, take a photo and share it. Okay. What you really want to do to step it up a level is get the chamber to speak for a max of 10 minutes at your event. And as well, because the chamber wants to see you being authentic, make sure that you invite the state team and some other chapters to attend as well. So if you are a smaller chapter and you're worried about attendance or being embarrassed that the chamber is going to come along and you may only have 5-10 members, invite the other chapters around you and the state team as well, so that when the chamber comes to see you, it's a room full packed of people. Agree a second event and announce it at your first event. You should also survey your say, what, now you've met for Chamber of Commerce and we want to build a relationship, what do you want to see from the Chamber? How do you think that partnership should develop? Okay. YP, so young professionals and networking groups. So we hear a lot within the organisation that or there's another group out there in the community and they're kind of the rival to the JCs. So they're getting all the publicity and the chapter's not really getting anything, or that they just won't talk to you and engage with you. What you should do is visit them again with your business cards. Talk to them at their level. Visit them. Once they get used to talking to you, that's when you should offer to do a joint training. Because the benefit of the JCs is that we've got all those fantastic trainings available to help really develop somebody as a leader, whereas those YP and those networking groups don't. Look at plugging in the community projects, because YP groups are often, they go to a bar or a restaurant, they have a mixer, may have some appetizers, may have a speaker, go home. Well, the benefit of the JCs is that you can become a more well-rounded leader if you're doing those community service projects. And again, many of these groups probably do want to do a community service project, but don't know how. You should also look at offering JCI trainings. So we always become the training arm of that YP and networking group, because your aim is to get them to see you as a partner rather than the competition. Because what you can do over time, if you're in partnership with them, is that you slowly bring their individual members into being JCI members. And over 6 to 12 to 18 months, that YPL networking group can be successfully merged into the JCs. And then you don't have to worry about competition in your community. But what you need to do is to take it one step at a time. Every single YP group and networking group will have a different focus. So you really need to work out what their focus is and what you can offer as an organization. Where can you add the value to get that YPL networking group to sign up with you longer term? So like I say, excuse me, the long-term goal is to take it over. So you want to make sure that they know the value of the JCs, because fundamentally we're a gym membership for your brain, or we're Netflix for the brain. So you have to find ways of being relevant. And one of the things that you can do is to become the Chamber of Commerce's official young persons group, because we are the junior chamber, and HQ has a draft memo of understanding, and we can connect you with other chapters and states that have got a formal partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. Okay, politicians and community leaders. Why? Leaders help validate you as a leadership organisation. Politicians want to be associated with young professionals. Many politicians have got staff who are JCH, so it's a natural recruitment ground. These are people who want to be community leaders. They are an absolute target market. You should make it an ambition for your chapter that within a year you have connected with every single staff member of every single politician in your community, and you have invited them to become a member of this organisation. It also gives you a pipeline of speakers for your events. And again, because politicians want to be associated with young professionals, you're more likely to get media attention, because you can send out the press releases too, but the politicians, their staff, will send out those press releases as well, so you will get noticed. Politicians know people, and many politicians are former JCs. Now, we all know about how Al Gore and Gerald Ford, etc., were involved in the organisation. But what you may not realise is that a significant portion of your state assemblymen, your city council members, your state senators, people who work in your governor offices, the insurance commissioners, you name it, school board members, many politicians are former JCs. And because they've been JCs, they know how cool our organisation is. And our alumni and our senators want to see us succeed in this organisation. So if you manage to meet political people who are senators, they will help you help your chapter. Okay, so the initial political engagement is, do not email them on its own. They are inundated with emails from every single special interest group and community organisation, particularly this year where we have an election. You need to pick up the phone. You need to phone them. Now, they are busy. You may just be able to leave a message, and you might not hear back from them immediately. phone them again. Sometimes you are going to have to phone that politician's office several times because chances are the staff may have no idea who you are, and you need to explain the relevance of what our organisation is. So one thing to do is to use what we do nationally. So malaria, UNICEF, nothing but nets. Again, talking broad terms about the community and the challenges. And what you want to do is say, we're from the Junior Chamber, we want to talk to you about malaria funding, we want to talk to you about human trafficking, we want to talk to you about community issues, and ask them for their input, because politicians like to talk and they like to have their input. Again, invite them along, and after you've met with them, write to them properly in a letter, not on an email. Write to them and send it in the post, thanking them for their time. And again, whenever you meet them, put it on social media and get a quote from them and ask their office to share it with the media too. Okay. To really have a proper connection, meet your mayor and your council members and ask them how can the JCs help. Offer to run a town hall on young people's issues. Meet with your state assembly and senators. You can use Nothing But Nets as a door opener. You can run a voter registration drive. The original Get Out the Vote campaign was through the JCs. Now, we are an apolitical organisation, but voter registration is apolitical. There is nothing wrong with you doing that. You also can run a candidate meet and greet debate, providing you have both sides of the argument, so to speak. So providing you have both candidates, or if it's multiple candidates, that you've invited all of them, you can run a meet and greet, a Q&A, a campaign, because you need to be bipartisan at all times. What you can't do is to always meet with one political party and not with the other. Now, there are some states out there where all of the leadership are one political party, and that's okay. But just be careful of where you are. If you are living in a congressional or Senate seat, which is going to be close, or you think it can be close, make sure that you reach out to both sides, and then that way you're going to be absolutely fine. If in doubt, check with our legal counsel. It's okay to engage with politicians. We can't endorse a particular candidate. So we can't say, oh, the JCs are going to vote for X, Y, or Z person. We are contacted sometimes about ballot measures. So some ballot measures we are able to support, but again, check with your state legal counsel or with the national legal counsel as well. Your long-term goals, you want to be able to meet your congressman every single year. You want to be seen as being the voice of young people in your community. You want to find out the challenges in your area and tackle them head on. You want to provide the opportunities to your members to be truly plugged in. And you want to become the first port of call for a politician or council needing a partner for a solution. Okay, I'm just going to pause for 1 second. Hello, JCs. Unfortunately, I've just got slight technical difficulties right now. The broadband seems to be going slightly, so I'm just going to try and fix it. So right now, the screen's frozen on long-term goals to talk about meeting the congressman. So if you want to go and get a glass of water quickly, that's absolutely fine, and I will try and get this fixed, and hopefully I will be back in a couple of seconds. Okay, JCs, looks like we're all good to go. Let's have a look. Let's see. Hooray! The media. So I'm going to talk about the media in 2 points. First of all, social media. A lot of JC chapters have got Facebook pages, which is amazing. We do have some Facebook pages who don't actually have a Facebook page, and they have a Facebook group. Now, a group's great if you want to talk about internal chapter affairs, but if you haven't got a public Facebook page, you have to ask yourself how people are going to interact with the organisation. So what you really want to do on social media is create a buzz around your chapter. Now, for some chapters, you've already got a buzz because you're doing fantastic programming, you've got loads of members, fantastic. For some other chapters, You might not have as much buzz as you want. So what you need to do is you need to fake it until you make it. So what I mean by that, so you have a look at the fourth bullet point. If your events are limited, get your members to other state, chapter, national and international events and post those photos. You need to post daily. The more you post, the more people will like and follow you. So if you're not doing lots of events, share everything that the other chapters in your area are doing. Share all the news from the state and from JCI USA, but also look for leadership articles that you can share, information about UNICEF and Nothing But Nets, Hobie and all of our other partners. Share community events as well that are going on in your local town. You want to be seen as being the experts in leadership and community change by sharing the content. You also want to consider using Facebook advertising. It's affordable and you can target young professionals. If you don't have any funding whatsoever, talk to your state and your state foundations to see if they can financially support you to do Facebook advertising. Facebook advertising can start at $5 and you can reach hundreds of people on $5. It is very, very affordable. Like I say, make sure that your chapter has got a public Facebook page. You're welcome to have a private group as well for matters where you're talking about chapter internal affairs, but you want to have a public Facebook page at all time, because then it's a lot easier for those non-profits and for those politicians to tag you and to share you. The other thing that you should look at doing is having a second social media account, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat. Ideally, you want to be on every single piece of social media. However, that can be challenging. So think about what will be the best other social media platform for you to use apart from Facebook. Increasingly, people are turning to Instagram. So Instagram, of course, is very photo heavy. So you need to make sure you've got photos at all times. Your other option is to look at LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is very focused on professional development and business development. And then Twitter, well, for Twitter, really, you need to be engaged and tweeting people and responding to them as well. So Twitter, if you just retweet other people's tweets, that's great, but that's not really engaging with people. For Twitter to work successfully for your chapter or for your state, you need to be tweeting other people so that you begin to have those conversations with them and really talk about leadership and community. So to recap, for social media, the two key things you need to be talking about are community and leadership. And the more you post, the more Facebook will also pick you up as a chapter, so to speak, and advertise you for free. Because the more that you post content, the more people are interacting with you, the more Facebook will put you at the top of the feed. Traditional media empowered as well. Do not forget traditional media. It's hugely important. Make sure that you build contacts with your local media. Now, if you don't have local media contacts, again, reach out to them. Don't be frustrated or alarmed if they don't run with your first couple of press releases, because again, they do get a lot of press releases, but over time they will see, hey, this chapter's doing all this great work. And again, if you're not doing many events at the moment, write letters, write articles on leadership or what it's like to be a young professional in your community and send them in. Press release everything that you do. Every GMM can be a media opportunity. Don't say, oh, the JCs of any town had a GMM at 6:30 in our hall, 10 people attended. You change the conversation of how you do it, and you say, the junior chamber, or the JCs or JCI, whatever you want to be called, held an information evening where we discussed with several young professionals about community change. Or the junior chamber of any town held a general membership meeting where we met with X, Y, and Z, so the people that you've been inviting to talk about community issues and talk about some of the project ideas that you're looking at doing as well. So the JCs met and we talked about how we were going to do a Christmas toy drive we would be interested in having more people sending their ideas or connecting us with other organisations, please contact us. Make sure that all your press releases have got contact details. Ask your local radio and TV to feature you, and again, call your newspapers, because local media need content. You want the local media, you want to get them to want to talk about you and share your story. So don't ever stop trying, because again, the more you're seen in the media, the more young people will see you, and they will think, oh, this is a successful organisation, I want to join that. Okay, so here's a case study on how to do it. So this is from my home chapter, which is Santa Clarita Valley in California. So we have a program called SCV 40 Under 40. The event was actually taken from another JC chapter that worked with a business magazine. 40 young leaders get an award, a free meal and free membership to our organisation. Members didn't show up to the event, so we were talking to young leaders and we were paying for them to have a free meal and free membership of our organisation for a year, and they got a lovely award as well that cost money. But we didn't get a lot of our own members to come to these events. Over time, this became a struggle to get nominees because we weren't talking to people, and we were working with the local newspaper and their support was lukewarm. We also, like many chapters, found a young professionals group started, and we found lots of networking groups starting in Santa Clarita Valley run by young professionals. So this project was going a bit stale, and it lost the chapter money because we're paying everybody to have free meals and free memberships of our organisation. So how did we redefine it? So first of all, we've got a brand new logo, and you'll notice here it says JCI Santa Clarita Valley and the magazine Santa Clarita, who are our partners. You'll notice as well that whilst it says JCI Santa Clarita Valley, it is not JC branded, and that's for a reason. So we met with every local media and we talked them through about what they could offer. We agreed a partnership with the monthly local magazine, and they became our joint partner. We held a nominations mixer to help get more nominations, and we gave people free entry if they donated a toy. And the toys went to our Christmas toy drive. We agreed from the start that the magazine would help get sponsors for the event. So if you remember, I said that this event was losing us money. So the magazine essentially got free publicity and associated with a group of young leaders, and what they had to do was get the sponsors. And because it's a magazine where everyone advertises in it, it was natural for them to get the sponsors. We gave the magazine a table at the awards dinner and put their logo on the awards. So the magazine is now integral for young professionals, and all those young professionals we've given the awards to recently advertise in it because many of them are small business people and the magazine is well read, so it creates a great circle. The magazine helped provide new nominees, and our nominees went from 30 in 2012 to 70 in 2013. Every year we received more than 70 nominees. We met with the Chamber of Commerce and they became a sponsor as well. And over time, their young professionals group died because the members became JCs. The 40 young leaders still get an award and a free meal, but now they have to attend 2 JC events in order for us to give them free membership for a year. And the awards are positioned just before the holidays because we have many events, so we're able to get prospective members sucked into our organisation and helping us with all of our holiday events, and that gives them the opportunities within the chapter. If you're going out there to young professionals, if you're going out there to the media, or you're going out there to politicians of the chamber, you need to make sure that you can deliver those development opportunities that we're talking about. So now, politicians fight over who is going to be our speaker. Our congressman's come in this year. Local media run with several articles about the chapter each year. The local magazine puts our toy drive on the front cover every single year for free. We hold alumni events for the previous winners, which means that we're connecting people back into our organisation, and those alumni, particularly as they age out, are able to help get us sponsors or provide us donations as well because they see the value of the JCs in the programme. It's given the chapter legitimacy in their community to the point that people ask us at the start of the year, hey, when's 40 Under 40 going to be this year? When are nominations going to be open? What date is going to be the gala? Because I really want to go. And it also helps us get more sponsors and donations for our toy drive. This is what the website looks like. So again, it's got the logo. This is tickets for last year's one in 2017. Talks about who our sponsors are as well, who our main sponsor is, who our other sponsors are as well. You can see at the top, you've got where to get the tickets, the sponsorship packages, past honorees as well. So we talk a lot about the people who've actually won this award too, again, to get legitimacy. This is an example of the article that's actually on the magazine's website. I don't have a copy of the magazine to hand, but you can see in here at the start, we're talking about how service in others is no easy career. So we're talking about how people do volunteer, but what we're talking about as well is it's about servant leadership rather than being a volunteer. You mentioned here that we talk about Junior Chamber International, but again, it's in partnership with the magazine. Everyone gets a headshot as well, which is fantastic. Okay, so to recap of where we are to build your bridges within the community. One, you need to find some non-profits who can help you help them. So it's very important that you ensure that we are not used as free labour for other people. It's okay to want to help other organisations and to volunteer. And volunteers are wonderful, but you don't need to be a JC member to volunteer. What we offer that a volunteer group doesn't offer is those development opportunities and that real skill set to learn about the organisation. Second, what you want to be doing with the non-profits is working out how we as an organisation can be plugged into them for the long term. If we fundraise for another organisation, we should seek to get a percentage back of the proceeds. The more you work with non-profits, you can say to them, hey, do you know people under the age of 40? We want to grow our membership. Will you help sponsor them for a year? Which means that you have more prospective members to talk to. And if that non-profit sees how valuable you are in helping them further their objectives, they're far more likely to help cover the sponsorship for members. And that way you can get more members into your organisation. You also as well want to work with non-profits in developing career pathways for your members so that they can go and serve on other organisations. For politicians, you want to be the voice of young leaders in the community. Politicians will engage with you, but they need to know that you're being authentic at all times. We highly recommend that you use our national programs and partnerships to help get your foot in the door with your local politicians. And again, make sure that you're being bipartisan at all times. If at any time you have any questions on working with politicians, talk to your state team or your state legal counsel, your national vice president, myself as chapter development director, or a legal counsel as well. But don't be put off by a politician because they can really help you. And again, don't forget, many of them used to be JCs. Working with your local media, it's all about building your story. If you're unable to do lots of events at the moment, make sure you PR the events that you have got, but make sure that you're talking about leadership, because the more you talk about leadership with the media, the more you're going to be relevant, the more young leaders will hear about you and then sign up to become members. The more members you have, the more projects you can do, the more you'll get in the community. Make sure that you press release every single thing that you do. You also want to take photos of everything you do to put on social media. And don't forget to have a public Facebook page. Don't forget as well to look for a secondary social media platform that you think is going to be relevant to the people you want to become members. Social media, make sure that it's positive at all. Whatever's happening in the chapter or the state, do not broadcast it on social media. Make sure that Okay, so managed to get the audio connection restored. Sorry about that. As you can see, it's not been the easiest thing this evening to try and get sorted out. I hope that I've been able to help add some value to how to build bridges in your community. I highly recommend that you use our national programs and that you contact our national program managers who can help you. I'm here to help you at any time. My email address is here. I will email this webinar out to all of you as well, so that you have a copy that you can share with your states. The webinars are normally uploaded onto YouTube within 48 hours too, so again, you can share them with your states. If your states or chapters would like further one-on-one training and coaching on how to build bridges and activate young citizens, you are very welcome to contact me. I am very happy to do this webinar again on a more one-to-one basis for your chapter or for your state. Thank you so much for listening to me this evening. I apologise for all of the technical difficulties. Sometimes within this organisation it can be a challenge, but I hope that I've been able to add some value. And like I say, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you and good evening.
People down.